Hello all, Stacy the Black Feather Intuitive, and welcome to Divinely Decked Tarot and Oracle Reviews done Stacy style. And in true Stacy style here, my guides were speaking to me last night while I wasn't sleeping and came up with this kind of inspired video to do a deck review and choice of decks based on each astrological sign in my own collection. So this is for you, Aries. Let's see. And this is for people, Aries, Sun, Moon, and Rising, but this is also for people who really enjoy decks because you very likely have an Aries in your life. And what would be the deck that you would recommend to them or might work with them to do readings and things on? So without further ado, let's get to it and explore what that might look like. Okay, so we are starting off here today with the Marchetti Tarot, and this is Cyril Marchetti, written by Lee Burston. And I chose this particular deck, it's a US Games, because Cyril Marchetti is a very creative and prolifically creative, I would say, tarot and oracle creator. And I don't know what their sign is, but I definitely feel strongly that if I were an Aries, this would be a card deck that would speak to me. And here's why. It's well done, it's to the point, it's a great starter deck, it's got a lot of fire and passion. And I want to say, not to say that Aries, that you're a dramatic sign, but I'm definitely feeling this energy of how would I put it? Like you enjoy a little bit of drama. You enjoy a little bit of pomp and circumstance. That's not a bad thing. Life is boring without a little bit of, I want to say, fluff and, excitement that goes into the mix. And this deck and this creator definitely creates that. When I think Marchetti books and tarot decks, the thought that comes to mind is excitement. The thought that comes to mind is color and, direct guidance, pulling no punches, no bullshit. And so, let's take a peek at the Marchetti Tarot. And we can see the back here. It's always done with like a little bit of a Venetian flair. And when you look at it, I love the colors that are used because it's bold, it's bright. Colors speak their own language, and we can get a lot out of that. Here we have a Knight of Wands. I mean, he's riding his dragon. This Four of Swords, he's resting, hanging on, and we have, his the Libra symbol there, being in balance, finding balance in all of that. The dragon is fire. Here we have the Page of Wands, all in those beautiful oranges and reds. So I feel like Aries, for you guys, and for those who love, have an Aries in your life that you love, this deck really kind of gives you the message. It's kind of on the nose. It doesn't hide anything. It's great for, I want to say, putting more of your intuition and inspiration into things. When you get that inspired thought, this is a deck that you go to that can help you to step into the action step of it right away. And I would say this is a deck that requires another deck for, I would say, maybe a little follow through. I have a lot of Aries in my life, and I love how inspired and inspiring they are. And I also, as that Virgo with my, sort of Libra rising in there, that I often am the one that suggests to them, hey, you had that really great idea. Where are you at with it? How can I help you out? It's so cool. Like, would love to make sure that, like you're able to, if it's something that still resonates with you, you're still able to do it. Or maybe I can be the worker bee on your behalf, to get it done, or to assist you. Aries, it's not that you can't follow through. It's that you have a lot of that visionary energy within you. And this deck is definitely a visionary deck. I mean, look at some of the imagery on here. You know, once again, we've got a dragon, a beautiful dragon energy or lizard energy. The wand is unique. It's not just your standard stereotypical wand. We have beautiful mountains in the background here. We have the 9 of swords. Yeah, peeking out of the pillow. You're scared, you're frightened, you're overwhelmed, you're exhausted, right? You want to just bury your head in the sand. You know, here we have the 5 of cups. Yes, she's furrowing her brow. She's upset. She's sad. There's a shattered glass here. She's looking down at the shattered glass. Oh no, that was my favorite. You know, there's grief energy. I love also that Ciro Marchetti often has futuristic blended in with kind of that old world Venetian style. And I think that's very much Aries, is that, you know, you've been around the block a few times for sure. Yes, you're the first part of the first sign of the zodiac. So a lot of that fresh and new, but we've all incarnated 50 bajillion and one times on the planet, right? And so you bring some of that wisdom to you while also being in the space of wanting to start new things, you know, get the ball rolling with new things. But the follow through is not always your forte. You know, and that's where you can lean into other people. So this deck in particular feels very Aries to me. A great starter, gives you guidance and information just right on the nose. You don't even need the book to kind of tap into the energy levels of what each of these stories, you know, card stories means and represents. And you've got a good place to go. You've got a good jumping off point. It's very inspiring. You know, I love this. When I think about my Aries people and how passionate they really are about life, about service, about helping, about that leadership energy, this is the deck that I think about. So that is my tarot recommendation for my Aries peeps, for the Aries in your life. It's just a fantastic deck, and I feel that it is the kind of deck that is going to speak to the Aries peeps. The oracle card that I chose for Aries, and this is a little surprise because this, you know, could very easily be Scorpio, but we're going with this, and I'll tell you why. This is the Wisdom of the House of Night oracle cards from PC Cast and Colette Baron-Reid. This is what I like to say, an oldie but a goodie. And I have had this deck for years. I absolutely love it. So it does things a little differently. First of all, it's gilded on the sides, which I think is fabulous. And when we think of Aries, at least the Aries that I know, the Aries energy that that is kind of stereotypical to any of your astrology journeys is it is the new beginning, the fresh start, wanting beautiful things. Spring is beauty, you know, bringing out the beauty. I love that it's an absolutely perfect, you know, square cornered deck. I actually used characteristics of this deck to create my own deck, my Feathers of Wisdom deck, which is square cornered. I love the background. It's ornate and yet it's simplistic in its design. It feels really good. It comes with a really nice guidebook here, all black and white, gives you the image of the card, gives you a quick little summary, and then gives you a deeper message, and it has keywords. So let's take a peek. I think this is really the kind of deck that hits home when we are talking about that Aries personality. Like, look at this message. So when you get this card and you're looking at it, okay, so it's a 45, which is a 9, endings, resolutions, conclusions, service. There's a message around something that is coming to an end or something that we need to put to an end in order to be able to initiate something new and something different into our lives and into our world. Movement, 29. Looking at this imagery right off the hop, we see a beautiful horse. Horses are powerhouses. Horse, and it's a white horse. So that spirit energy. The horse has this little tattoo figure of a moon on it as well. So yes, there's a little bit of sunlight here, but it's also, you know, the moon energy capturing the moonlight energy, that we can move by night as well as during the day. Listening, Kramisha. This says, darkness does not always equate to evil. Light does not always bring good. That's really interesting. And any Aries that I've known tends to like to bring about the duality of things. You know, spring can be very dualistic in its nature. Fire is dualistic. It can bring heat and warmth and light and love and passion, and it can also bring destruction. It can also bring overwhelm and being overdone, right? It can burn things, it can destroy things. And so it's important to know the balance, to understand what that is. Fulfillment. So Aries, you enjoy what spring can bring. And this is, pomegranate energy. The spring can bring the, sort of that planting of the seeds for your grapes, for the harvest. Beauty. Aries always brings beauty, right? And it's like the fresh bud that's just, newly opened. Fragment. I love this. Six is harmony, balance, and alignment. Fragment. I think like fragments of the soul, when you are looking at this, where do you feel fragmented? Where are you compartmentalizing in your life? Where are you living half measures and not living fully or wholly into who you are? Just so much beautiful on the nose energy. 22, letting go. Beautiful butterflies going off. You can see very clearly here there's a transformation that is occurring. Conclusion, chapter 1 and the end. High priestess of air. So the high priestess of air, of course, the air signs. We also have, the high priestess of water and earth and fire. Self-worth here. Very Aries, we've got a lot of the red here, and Aries tend to love passionately. They're very, I want to say, engaged in the things that they're doing, and they're always either seeking the self-worth or expressing the self-worth and looking for people who can also see that within them. The moon card, beautiful and rigid. So yes, Aries can be a bit rigid, right? They can be very like, okay, like I'm going to do this and I'm all in, but if you're not doing what I want you to do, out the door you go. They have their own little secrets that they keep. They have their own little motivations. They can operate under the light of the moon as well, even though they're a fire sign. The moon brings them a little bit of balance. Wishing, that wishing well, and this is very spring-like energy. So even the images in this deck really speak to me of that Aries energy, focus, starting new things. This is a deck that when you pull out the deck to do a reading for yourself, I feel like the messaging really just, like, it's very clear. It makes a lot of sense. High priestess of water. So you're dealing with water signs, Scorpio, Cancer, and Pisces. And so, when you're pulling, high priestess of water, you're going to be dealing with a water sign energy in your life, or the invitation to embrace some of that water sign energy, the high priestess of spirit, that ether energy, reminding yourself that you are a spark of the divine, and the divine is you. Invisible. Sometimes Aries get really upset when others are not paying attention to them. I am not invisible, and they will do things or go places where they're going to be acknowledged, for who they are and what they have to offer. So I feel like this is just an excellent deck to embody the characteristics of the Aries sign. This is a Hay House deck, I believe. Let me double check that. Oh, actually, this was a Potter style. I guess I thought it was Hay House because it's Jenna Della Grottaglia and Colette Baron-Reid, who are under the Hay House umbrella, but perhaps not. But this is just an excellent deck. And for Aries, I think you guys would really enjoy working with this kind of deck, it's going to give you the type of guidance that you prefer, or it's going to give you guidance in the way you prefer to receive it. That's a better way for me to say that and to explain that. So that is our Divinely Decked for today. As always, you guys know I love connecting in this way. Please feel free to put comments in there about what you thought about my choices. If you happen to be an Aries and you think I'm completely off my rocker, by all means, let me know. Give me some suggestions, maybe on some decks that you feel you resonate with. And if you're watching this and you really enjoyed some of these, these two decks that I offered, I would love to hear that as well. As always, sending you guys so much love and support until we see you for another episode of Divinely Decked. I'm sending you lots of love, and we will see you on the flip side. Transform well. That's our show for today. I hope you enjoyed it. It was great to connect with you guys. Please like, subscribe, and comment for more content like this. And feel free to follow me on Blue Sky for even more content every single day. Can't wait to see you guys next week for another installment of Black Feather Couture, Divining the VIP Life.